Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 on the car repair website. Today we are going to be building the about page, which you can see right here on the screen. We're gonna build this page, and also we are going to be working on the contact page, which is this one. Get in touch. As you can see, it has a form and some information, a Google Maps. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to be building today in this video. This is part 2 of the car repair website tutorials. If you missed part 1, we built the homepage and the header there. So go ahead and go back to the first video in order to catch up if you haven't. So let's go straight into this video. And we are going to start with the about page. And as you can see, this looks a lot like the homepage. We can copy paste a lot of things, which is pretty great. So we should be able to be pretty fast about this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to pages. And I'm going to create a new page called about. This is my local WP environment. This is a local executable file that you can run, and it hosts a website on your local machine. That is why it might be a little bit on the slow side sometimes. I don't know why that is. So we're going to do an Elementor full width template, and I'm going to publish this page. Once published, I'm going to edit it with Elementor. You do need Elementor for this tutorial. If you have not got Elementor, you're able to follow along with the free version, but you do need some extra plugins for Elementor itself. If you want to buy Elementor Pro, for example, if this is a website for a client, you can get the link in the description below. It's an affiliate link. I get a really small commission out of it if you purchase Elementor from there. That would really help me out, but you know, you're free to do as you like. So this is the About Us page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to open the home page in Elementor as well, because we are going to be copying a lot of things. And I do see that we haven't set this up yet. So what you can do is you can go into Dashboard, Settings, Reading, and then you can say your homepage displays a static homepage, which is then home. You can save this. Once that's saved, if you then go to your site, you will see the homepage of the actual website. So we're going to edit this with Elementor. And we are going to be copying over the very first section, which is the hero section here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this container, the first one, and I'm going to click on right click and click on copy. And then here in this field, I'm just going to say right click, paste. And as you can see, it copied out the entire section. So I'm going to remove everything that's here. So also remove this. And as you can see, we have an empty container. So I'm going to create a container within that container. Okay, so let's click on the container on the top and remove this. Remove the minimum height, just completely remove it. What does the About Us page have? They have a title called About Us. So let me just copy in this title. Paste it in. It's aligned in the middle. And they have About Us. And then they have some, let's see, a paragraph text. So I'm going to click on the text editor, drag it in there. You can either right click here, copy and paste the style here, or you can just completely copy paste it. Let's copy paste this text, line it in the middle. And as you can see here, it's a little bit bigger. So if I open it with what font, you will probably also see it's size 28. Here you see size pixel 20. Oh yeah, I'm not able if you can see this because it's a pop-up, but it's a 28 according to my Chrome extension. Let's put it at 28. Now what? We have a little bit of spacing, so we are going to go click here on the container, advanced padding, and then I'm going to say it's 250 on top and also 250 on the bottom, which is maybe a little bit too much. So let's remove 100 pixels by doing 200 top, 200 bottom. There we go. Now, if you want to create this little ribbon, you can do that. There are multiple ways of doing that. The straightforward way, what I would suggest is you just pick up a button, place it in there, and just style it exactly as it is. They have called workshop here. What you can do is you can remove this background, make it completely white, set the border radius to 0 and the border type to solid and the border width to 1, and then give it a white color, and that will probably give us the same look and feel. Yeah, there we go. Now that button is a lot smaller here. What you could do is play around with the padding, but I'm not going to do that in this video. Cool. Let's go to the second one. Now, if you remember in the first video, we already built this section. It is this section from the homepage, so you can just completely copy it and paste it right over here. So let's publish this. And if you scroll down, then we have this part. We have 3 people that are the car experts. So there are multiple ways of doing this. On this template, you're able to click on someone with a pop-up. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna show these cards. So I'm just gonna style and design one card and then duplicate it 3 times or 2 times over. So let's do that. What do they have? We have a container that goes down, which holds these 2. And then we have another container which goes to the right, which holds these 3 cards. So let's build that. First, a flex box, and I always put it to the right, the first one. But this one should go down actually. Now within this, we have a new container that goes down because this first container is holding the top 2 elements. Then we are gonna duplicate this one, but change the direction to the right. And we are going to drag in a new container in here, which is down, and that is going to be duplicated 3 times. There we go. So as you can see, we have now created that same layout. Okay, so let me select the background color here. Okay, there we go. I copied it over. So click on the container, styling. The color is going to be this color, which is great. And let's use this button to paste it up here. But it's really hard to read. They have a white background and a blue letter, so or text color. So I'm also going to do that. Text color is going to be accents. Yeah, this is just a global color I have set up. If you want to set up a global color, just click on your color, select it, and then click on this plus, and you're able to give it a color name. And then you can just pick it up from here. And the background is completely white. There we go. Then they have a title beneath it. So I'm going to copy this title, paste it underneath that one, and align it to the middle. And let's give it a color of black. Meet our experts, something like that. And then let's also add in some padding to the top. which will be 200, and padding to the bottom, which will be 200 as well. And what we could do perhaps is add in a little spacing here of 50, and then also remove that 50 from the top, so it looks a bit more like this. There we go, that looks cool. I'm gonna put that at 20 pixels. Cool. So now this, how are we gonna do that? As you can see, this is a container which holds an image, 2 headings and some socials. So what I'm gonna do is, this container is downwards. So I am gonna be adding an image first, and we're just gonna select, do you have a clean, yeah, we just use this image, that's fine. And then we have a title. So I'm just gonna copy this title and paste it below. Is it still within here? Yes, it is. Let's put this to 28. Okay, they're just putting in the name John Doe. We can duplicate this. And we can say, now let's put him at owner with a slightly smaller font, and that is gonna be the accent blue as well, owner. And if you go to social, we have a social icons button or a widget from Elementor itself. And I want to have circle. And the official color is going to be a custom color. Let's see, the primary is the background. So we can do a like a grayish one. How do they have it? Gray and white. Yeah, something like this. That looks cool. And then the background of this container, we can click on style, background type, color, and we can make it completely white. And then we can also go ahead and drag in a spacer beneath it. Or what you would be able to do also, which is something the same, is add in some padding to the bottom, about 50 maybe. Yeah, there we go, 50 to the padding. Let's make these icons a little bit smaller, 15 pixels maybe. There we go. And there we go. We have created the same cards, as you can see here. Now, I'm gonna duplicate this 2 times, and I'm gonna remove it here and here. Let's just swap out these images really quick, but you get the idea. John Doe, this is, I don't know, I'm just making something on Ben Hill. He is a mechanic. This is, let's just pick a name from here. Adam Colt. And he is the, yeah, a senior. Might be good. Senior. And I'm just gonna put in a little bit of spacing between these two. There we go. That's that section. Cool. Now, what else do we need? We need the, yeah, this is the logo overview. As you can see, they have like a stretched, here they have a slider for logos. So we're gonna do exactly the same thing. Is this completely black? I guess it is. Let me just check this really quickly. Color picker. It's not completely black. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in a flex box like that, give it a background, of the color you like, which is this color. And then we have an image carousel. Image carousel. And if you have some logos, you can upload them here. So I'm just gonna download a couple of logos from this template. Save. I don't know, these are like 5, 6 logos. Let's upload them. Insert gallery. Now they are a little bit styled weird, so I'm gonna say image resolution is full. Slides to show, we're gonna do 5. Image stretch, you can say yes. Navigation, we don't want any. Additional options, this is for, you know, the loading and the sliding. I'm just gonna put in 5 here. That's fine. And then image spacing, the vertical line is in the middle. And we can add in some spacing to the logos. So I'm just gonna put it to 100. There we go. And as you can see, we have built that slider as well. And that's it. Then we have this part, which is also a copy paste from the homepage. Copy and paste it here. Very nice. And that's all about for the about page already. So I'm gonna publish this and we're gonna have a preview of this page. So what do you have? We have about us. We can scroll down a little bit. We have this page. Ooh. We have meet our experts. What you could do is you can also make these buttons clickable, right? So if you have some Facebook, Twitter, or whatever social that you put in here, you can just connect it towards this. We have our slider, and then we have this section again. Really cool. So now let's move over to the contact page, which is also an interesting one. It doesn't have that much. We have a hero, we have a contact, and we have this thing, this Google's Maps. So this looks a lot like the one from About. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go towards, let's see, back to my dashboard. I'm gonna add in a new page, which is called Contact, and that is the full width. Publish it, edit it with Elementor. Wait for this to load. Here we go. So let's copy over the About Us section. Contact, get in touch, and then something like that. So this is contact, get in touch, and then we have that part. All right, cool. So now we're gonna work on the here on the form, on the booking form. Now this is a main container that holds 2. We have left and right, and on the left you can see we have phone, email, workshop. 2 ways of doing this is have a container within here. So we have, this is the left one, right? And then we have here, this is a small container, and this could be a small container. What we can also do is we can also add in a icon list, which is listed down, but just increase the spacing here. Maybe I'm just going to remove workshop, email, phone, and just keep it simple. So let's do this. What we need is we need a header, or we need a container. There we go. And let's add in another one, duplicate. There we go. Now the background is completely white, but we do want to have some spacing on the top and bottom. So top 200, bottom 200. So we already have the spacing. Let's copy over this heading and paste it here. And change the color to black. And let's copy this heading. And also we need a paragraph. So as you can see, I always have one page open that I'm copying stuff from. It makes it a little more simple. If you need to do some styling, you just have to adjust little things because you probably have some global styling set up. So like this. And now we're going to get to this section. So this is an icon list, right? So we're going to put in icon list. Here it is, the icon list. That's an Elementor one. And what do we have? We have a phone, we have email, and we have a location. So the first icon is going to be a phone like that. And this is going to be plus. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. If you want to make this clickable, that if you, for example, if you are on your mobile and you click on this and you would directly dial that number, then what you would do is type in TEL : and then you can paste in the number, but do keep in mind that you have to remove spaces and stuff like these brackets, and you would just add it in like this. And then if you click on it, it would actually call it immediately. Let's give some styling here. So first the icon is going to be of 20 and the text is going to be primary. Let's just put a black of color, and that typography also to 20. So it's a bit better to read, and the icon is also just going to be black of color. There we have it. Okay. And duplicate this over. The second one is going to be an mail, but you see if you put in email, you get something like this. What you need to do is you need to search for envelope, and I'm going to use that one. Info at Reparo, that's what we call it, reparo.com. Now for the email, you can do the same thing with if you click click on it and it opens up, you just do mail to : and then your email address. And then here we're just going to use the same the same thing here. But I'm going to remove the first part, just like this. This is going to be a map pin, like this. Cool. So let's add in some spacing. 15 should be fine. And add in a gap of 10 here. Very nice. Let's publish this, and now let's work on the form. So I'm just going to use an Elementor form, and as you can see, they have labels and they have placeholders. So we're also going to be doing that. So they have name, email, phone, subject. So we have name, email, and duplicate this. This is going to be tel phone, This is going to be text, subject. Let's put them all at 50%. Now on this form, it's really interesting. You have to ask your client or yourself, if this website is for yourself, what kind of information do you want to capture always? So you always want to have their name, so that's required. And you also always want to have an email address. A phone I wouldn't necessarily do, and the subject I wouldn't necessarily do. But the message should always be required as well. Because if people are going to fill in some emails or some forms and you're going to get it in your email, you do want to be able to reply to them and know which information that they are sending. On the other hand, if everything is required, it might be a little bit too much for the visitor to fill in. You know, people are kind of lazy nowadays. When they're scrolling on the web, they're not going to fill in everything. So I would suggest not making everything required. Okay, so that is what we have. How did they style it? They made the actual inputs square completely. So the field is border radius 0. And yeah, I think I kind of like this already, how it is styled. What you could do is you could make the label, how do you say it? The label, you could make it uppercase. So here you see label, and you could say transform uppercase. There you go. And maybe make it black of color. There we go, like that. And then on, let's just not do the same here. Let's just put in a name, John Doe, email. That's John Doe at email. Phone could be this subject. What did I have here? Reservation. Message I normally put in, I have a question about, like that. Now let's see, the button is send message really big to the left, so we're going to click on style. I'm going to click on button, and position is to the left. And what we could do is we could add in the padding to make it a bit bigger. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it at here. Let's add in a grow animation if you hover over it. And are you able to also add in an icon? Yeah, there we go. Normally what I do is I add in like a little plane like this. Notice and add it afterwards. I always like it if we, if you have a little icon here. There we go. So now a couple of things that you need to be aware about if you are doing something with forms is that if people are going to get it in their inbox, you have to adjust a couple of things. So the form name, if you get it now, you just get like form name, a new form in your inbox, and you don't want to have that. You want to have contact form, so you know which form you're talking about. You can also, by the way, add in a require mark. And if you do it here, field, let's see what it is, buttons, messages, no. Mark color, there we go. I can also put it to blue. All right, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So now what do we want to have is email. Here it says DAF. This is the email address that you're going to be sending it towards if this form is being submitted. So if you want to have your own email address, for example, you can do support at I don't know, test.com, something like that. Here you have your message, new message from. I always do something like contact form submission. And then from message, you can put in all fields, and this will just spit out all of the filled in fields for you. What would also be cool to do is you can put in some HTML here. So for example, if you go to ChatGPT and you ask it to create some email setup for you, it's gonna give you some HTML. You can copy paste it in here. It would probably ask you for some fields IDs. So you click on form fields, and if you click on advanced, you can see the ID is name. Here you see the ID is name. If you just give it those information, it will give you a pretty cool HTML overview, and it might give you a cleaner email in your inbox. Okay, and then we have the from email. This is the email from which this is going to be sent. So yeah, you could do email at income tag or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as this is the same domain as where the form exists. The from name is just from who is it being sent to, and yeah, that's it. This is the metadata. You don't have to show it. You can also click the remove these. This is being sent towards the user as well. Okay, so let's see if you want to have spam prevention on this. How do we do that? So what do is we add in a new item, which is a reCAPTCHA v3. And yeah, it says here to use reCAPTCHA, you have to do blah, blah, blah. So what you can do is you can go into Google and say reCAPTCHA. And then you can go to the Google website and you can get started with the reCAPTCHA. Here you see. What you could do is you give it a label. So this would be, I don't know, something like site.com. This would be your domain. Then it says which kind of reCAPTCHA do you need. Yes, sorry, this one is Dutch. I am sorry, but it asks which version you want. You make sure that's v3. You add in a domain, which would then be your site. Your name of the actual domain, and you click on send. If you do this, you get a key and you get a secret. Make sure to go in Elementor to WordPress, or in WordPress to Elementor, sorry. Elementor, you're gonna click on it. We are gonna go, what is this? Settings, integrations, and then we have reCAPTCHA, and then it says version 3. You want to put in the key and the secret here. And what that does is it puts in an automatic check to see if you're actually human or if this is spam that's being sent in by the form. And yeah, just like that, you have your spam prevention built in. Now, the last thing that we need to do here is add in the this part. So let me just open this link and copy it. It's really simple. It looks kind of you know, like a lot, but it's really simple. What you have to do is you have to add in a new container and make sure that this one is a full width. Now in here we are going to be adding a Google Maps. We're gonna put in the location. Let's not do it like that. That's the actual link. I just need this location, Mountain View in California. Yeah, I picked up California, and with the zoom you can adjust how deeply it should zoom in. And then the height is literally just how big you want it to be. Let's put this at 450. Maybe a little bit more. 500 seems about reasonable. And that's it. That's how you add in that section. Now, there is a little thing that I like to do, a little trick. Let's just first publish this page. If you click on the pen and you go to style and you add in a CSS filter and set the saturation all the way down, you get a black and white version of this, which in my opinion just looks a little bit cooler. So let's view the page. And here we go. We have our form. Yeah, this will go away, by the way, if you're using a live website. I'm using a localhost one, but it will go away. And there we go. We have our form as well, or Google Maps as well in here. Last thing I noticed is we don't have the menu selected. We don't have a menu yet. So I'm just going to click on Appearance Menus. And I'm gonna create a new menu. I call it header menu. And we're gonna add in all of the, just home and contact for now. Save. And added this header. Because I do want to make sure that that is selected. There we go. Cool. So now we have our little website here with our home and our contact and our about. Oh, I forgot to add in the contact link here, but you get the idea. You can click on contact and add in the link. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. For part 2, stay tuned for part 3. It will be recorded pretty soon. If you have any questions or if you want to see something specific happening on this website, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure to add it into the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.